Good evening. It is the 3rd of November, just a few hot seconds past 7 o'clock. And if you were looking for the weekly broadcast of Ask Welfare Rights, we are here again. I'm saying we, even though Marion Kramer will not be with us this evening. Marion is managing another assignment over at the African American Museum, where there are a couple of events going on, and she is sponsoring and hosting one of those events. So, Mr. Engineer, I know that maybe we don't need to screen on, and you will tell me if that's an issue or not. But um, this is the weekly Ask Welfare Rights broadcast, and the website here, as you already know, is www.tv33whpr.com. You are, of course, watching the most fabulous station in the nation, and that'll be WHPR, Detroit, Highland Park, and other places. Call-in numbers are, and again, it's not on the screen. I can't see it if it is on the screen, and hopefully you can see it. The numbers on the screen should say something like 868-0342 or 868-4336. If you're able to see me on the TV screen this evening, call and let me know that at least you can hear and you can see Welfare Rights making our weekly broadcast. So let me know one way or the other. 868-0342 or 868-4336. Now, I brought some information about this upcoming election that's showing up next Tuesday, but I see that there is an announcement here, and what it says is Second Ebenezer Church, which is at 14601 DeQuinder, Second Ebenezer Church, Reverend Edgar Van. They're giving out Thanksgiving food vouchers. That means vouchers. This Saturday coming up. No turkeys or whatnot available now. Have to come back and get those. So on the 4th of November, which is Saturday, starting at 10 a.m., I'd get there about 9:30. Second Ebenezer Church are giving out Thanksgiving food vouchers this Saturday, which means tomorrow, starting at about 10 o'clock in the morning. The address of Second Ebenezer is 14601. 14601 DeQuinder. Zip is 48212. It's right there on the borderline between Detroit and Hamtramck. If you need more information about this, I don't know what information you would need, but if you do, you can call 313-867. 867-4700. 867-4700. Now, there is a symposium, a resource expo that's coming up for our school children, not ages, but grades 4th grade through 12th grade. Resources, books, notebooks, ink pens, pencils, all of those kinds of things, they're going to be made available a second round, not tomorrow Saturday, but a week from Saturday. Veterans Day is November the 11th, and on Veterans Day, if you are able to, I'm going to give you the phone number where you can call. And I'm looking for that phone number, and I don't see it quick enough. Okay, this is called the 2017 Prep for Success Educational Symposium and Resource Expo. It is in Birmingham, Michigan. Birmingham, Michigan. And students and parents who live in Oakland County, Wayne County, Macomb County are invited to this symposium where these resources for children are going to be made available. So this is a suburban community, but we are all welcome. You will be going to the Sea Home, and that's S as in Sam, like oceans and seas. SEAHOLM, the Seaholm High School, in the main auditorium at 2436 West Lincoln in Birmingham, Michigan. From 8 to 9 is the registration and continental breakfast for everybody that arrives. And the giveaways and the information starts at 9 o'clock. I urge you, get in your cars, get in your neighbors' cars, get in your relatives' cars. Let's go out here and let's see what items might be available in a community that used to be quite affluent and is becoming more and more working class. Address again, 2436 West Lincoln. A week from this Saturday, 8 to 9, registration at breakfast. 9 until 2, there's a program being offered, and there are resources being made available for children, grades 4 through 12. Let's go out to Birmingham and see what's going on. All right. Tuesday coming up, there's an election. I pulled out some information to make certain that everybody knows what might be happening. There are proposals on the ballot, and a lot of times we don't pay a lot of attention to the proposals on the ballot. And I thought maybe we could read a few of those. Anybody that might want to call and say something about these proposals, you're welcome to do so. 313-868-0342, 313-868-4336. All right. Proposal A is about the Detroit Medical Marijuana Facilities Ordinance. The Detroit Medical Marijuana Facilities Ordinance. A yes vote in favor of changing the Detroit City Code, in favor of changing the Detroit City Code to opt into or select or agree to get into the Michigan Medical Marijuana Facilities Consortium. A no vote means you are against changing the city code to opt into this symposium, this facilities. Caller, you on the air. Thank you for calling Ask Welfare Rights.
Good evening. I'm swaying a little bit from your topic because the big big elephant in the room now is this drainage fee that's starting to put the churches and businesses out of business. It saddens me that it had to take to going after the big wheels like churches and businesses before people understand this war, this water war that we're in right now, this crisis of people having affordable water.
And you're right.
And so now all I hear on the radios and whatnot is the fact that this is an imposed illegal fee, and now there's people coming to the forefront that wants to do class act suits. But isn't it something that it had to take? It didn't bother that the children were going to be snatched, families were being broken up, health issues are in the community, but it took going after the pulpit, the pimps, and the businesses before someone started to shine the light on whether or not this drainage fee is even legal. Thank you for taking my call, and I'll see if anybody else want to call and shine on that particular topic as well.
And thank you very much, dear. Thank you. Thank you. All right, let me go back over this Proposal A and Proposal B again. Proposal A says a yes vote is in favor of amending the Detroit City Code to opt into the Michigan Medical Marijuana Facilities Act. A vote no is to vote against changing the Detroit City Code, which means you cannot opt into the Michigan Medical Marijuana Facilities Act. The problem with that is, unless you know what the Detroit Medical Marijuana Zoning Act is, or Facilities Act is, you don't know what you're doing. Proposal B says a yes vote is in favor of establishing city zoning rules, in favor of establishing city zoning rules for medical marijuana facilities that are consistent with the Medical Marijuana Facilities Licensing Act. If you vote no, that means this is Proposal B. If you vote no, that means you are voting against establishing zoning rules for medical marijuana facilities. Okay, once again, unless you know what the Medical Marijuana Facilities Act is, you're going to be a little bit hard pressed because you're not going to know, not going to be sure what it is you're voting on. But I'm going to comment on that in just a second as soon as we take this call. Caller, you are on the air. Thank you for calling Ask Welfare Rights. Caller, you there?
Yes, Miss Taylor.
Yes.
I'm enjoying the program, but I'm just wondering if anybody was in the studio because your screen keeps rotating. I mean, it keeps rotating.
I saw
I'm enjoying the program, but I was wondering if anybody was in the studio because it's rotating.
I see it. It keeps rolling up.
Okay, but I'll continue to watch it.
And thank you so much.
I need that information.
Okay, thank you, ma'am.
Bye-bye.
All right. Okay. Now, some of you might remember when Richard Hairston and I first started doing this radio broadcast. That's more than 10 years ago. And we were on a Tuesday night, I think. I've forgotten. Then we went to a Thursday night. And daytime. And Richard and I sat together. And we talked about some of the rules and regulations that were coming up about making small amounts of marijuana legal. And we railed against that. And the reason we railed against that is because a small amount of marijuana being made available means that it's all right for you to use a little bit of dope. And folks that use just a little bit of dope are individuals that end up being long-term unemployed. And we talked about that repeatedly over a period of years. And I have the same interpretation as I had then. I'm a little concerned when a little bit of marijuana or a little bit of alcohol or a little bit of whatever the substance is available and it is legal. Because when you are asked to do a urinalysis test or somebody pulls out a little bit of your hair to test it to see if there are drugs in your hair follicles and you test positive, then you won't be able to get certain kinds of jobs. So I always guard against that. Be very careful in rules and regulations that say certain things are legal. The young lady talked about this rolling television screen. You all do remember that back in the day when you had that sort of thing, you went and got a rubber band and put it on the horizontal and vertical button, and you stuck a rubber band around it and a penny so it would stay in a certain slot. Those days are gone. All right. So Proposal A is about Facilities Act, and Proposal B is about Facilities Licensing Act. So read up on those things before Tuesday. There's more than enough time for everybody to be clear about what the specifics are relative to the language on that proposal. Caller, you're on the air. Thank you for waiting, and thank you for calling Ask Welfare Rights.
Yeah, I wanted to call to inform your listeners that roadside drug testing, Michigan State Police will begin a new pilot program in parts of Michigan aimed at fighting drug driving. So they're going to pull you over. So you guys start having issues. I know they pull you over, and they're going to start swabbing you.
Oh, Lord. Thank you for that tip.
So, yeah, you guys need to be careful and make a wise decision when you're walking, driving, and making your votes count. Thank you.
Thank you, dear. Thank you very much. Caller, you've been so patient. Thank you for waiting. Thank you for calling Ask Welfare Rights.
Good evening. How are you?
I'm fine, sir.
Good to see you this evening.
Oh, I'm sorry. Say it again.
I said good to see you this evening.
Well, thank you so much.
Yes, Sylvia is echoing what I was going to say about the Michigan State Police and their rogue efforts, it seemed, to that will impact black drivers, young drivers. It's going to be in 5 counties starting Wednesday.
Okay, and where does that start? Did you get that detail?
Yes, in 5 counties. The Tri-County area is not involved. The closest county is Washtenaw.
Okay, now let me say this to
Ann Arbor.
Okay, driver, caller. Let me tell you what I think about that. Now you
Okay.
know we've got an opioid crisis going on around the country, right? And we got thousands, tens of thousands of young people, predominantly white, a lot of college students, a lot of rural students, a lot of young kids living in countrysides that are taking and ingesting pills and whatnot and showing up dead. We've got a lot of youth alcoholism. I don't know if you've heard that or not, but those numbers are going up. So what is your thinking, sir, about Michigan State Police swabbing and stopping folks? And, you know, you have to open your mouth and put that Q-tip in there. What is your thinking about that?
Well, you know, some group needs to go to court and make them will challenge this, because even swabbing is an invasion.
Invasion of your privacy.
Yeah, it takes your DNA, and who knows what they're going to do with it. And, you know, it's really hard for these agencies to take your DNA, and they're just going to stop somebody and take your DNA, and then they claim they have a little testing kit right there. I'm just wondering if they're going to take if they stop any white people, if they're just going to send them right to rehab, drive them right to rehab, like they do in Cook County in Chicago, suburban Chicago.
Yep.
They did a big story about the cops pulling over white youngsters and taking them straight to rehab.
Taking them
But in
straight there.
Chicago,
Yeah.
they were going straight to jail.
Yeah, well,
And,
see, we
it's
got
just a
new
big murky
rules.
mess.
We got new rules to make our eyes open really wide now, don't they?
Oh yeah, I
New
mean,
rules.
you know,
Mm-hmm.
I think they're trying to increase the jail prison population because they've been mandated to let a lot of inmates out, and those numbers are probably going down. So they're trying to get them back up.
Caller, from your lips to God's ears, we better wake up, don't you think?
Oh yeah, and those 2 proposals on the ballot.
Yes.
You know, that's another confusing mess. Why would they put the voters and citizens with this kind of language? I mean,
As you've already said, caller, a lot of this is meant to confuse. If it was clear, and if they wanted to make it clear, what is the difference between the Michigan Medical Marijuana Facilities Act and the difference between that and the Medical Marijuana Facilities Licensing Act? The first thing anybody should have done is sent you a copy and the definition of what each of those are, if they wanted you to be clear. Would that not be true?
Absolutely.
And did you get that definition in the mail yet?
What's that?
Did you get that definition of those 2 things?
Oh, no.
Yeah, of course
No.
not. Yeah.
No.
Yep. Here we go again, the caller.
Michigan medical marijuana is illegal in Michigan. It's now law.
It is.
And so it's going to get really murky because people has it been just established that if you're smoking a blunt because of medical marijuana for medical reasons that you can't drive? Has it been determined if you take a prescribed drug from your doctor and then go to the mall that you can't drive? I'm not really for all this driving anyway, but they don't even have no public transportation in the region.
Caller, you have very accurately and quickly went right to the heart of the matter. See, all of this confusion, and you just wonder what is the reason for all of this. You know, and you know, like I know, there is a reason behind this madness, okay?
Absolutely, and I want to tell my people, you know, you're driving through Washtenaw County. That's just adjacent to Wayne County, going west.
Ann Arbor, Milan, Ypsilanti.
Gonna do.
Yeah. Everybody better be very careful and on your P's and Q's and M's, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, caller.
Holla.
Thank you so much. You've been so patient. Thank you for waiting, and thank you for calling Ask Welfare Rights.
Yes, good evening.
And good evening,
The
sir.
caller is absolutely right. You know, they're talking about that they will only stop you if you're not putting your blinkers on and all that mess like that. They got some schemed up to just arrest certain people. And I often say they never stop people that don't look like us until they cause an accident. We're out there on 36 Mile Road and Goo Lane, and they can cause a serious injury or death. They drive all the way from downtown, from the casino, never get stopped. You walk out there with just one beer in your system, they stop you. Now, one more thing I wanted to say.
Go ahead.
I'm going to call back on it. I forgot what I was going to. Oh, I know what I want to say. Can you explain which one of those about that marijuana thing you're reading from? It is kind of confusing. I'm going to go along with whatever you say is best for us to vote for, and I'm going to hang up and listen to what you think is best, and that's what I'm going to vote on, because it's kind of confusing the way they got it.
And
I'm
I
going to hang up
appreciate
and
it.
listen.
All right. Thank you so very much. Thank you very much. Caller, you've been patient. Thank you for waiting, and thank you for calling Ask Welfare Rights.
How you doing, Mr. Taylor?
I'm fine, sir.
I was wondering, I got a situation. I've been calling welfare rights this week, but I couldn't get through. Just got the answering machine. I got a $1,200 water bill from my mom's house. She recently passed away. And
I'm sorry to hear that.
they said they want 30% of the bill to keep from being shut off. It's in shut-off mode now.
Yes.
I guess about a week it'll be shut off. So that's about $400. Is there any way I can get some assistance with that? They said I have to be the deed has to be in my name, and obviously it's not in my name.
I got you. Okay. Let me think here. See, tomorrow are you working or anything tomorrow between 10 and 10:15? I'm asking specifically about that time.
Oh, ma'am.
Call this number tomorrow between 10 and 10:15. You ready? You mean you came to the telephone without a pen and paper? I'm going to tell Marion and you going to get a spanking.
I just took my eyes off of it for a minute.
You going to get a spanking.
I got it.
964.
Oh, 964.
0618. So that's 313-964-0618. You call that number tomorrow morning between 10 and 10:15, and I'm going to answer the phone.
All righty.
Okay?
Thank you.
All right, certainly. All right, back to the election activities. And we're going to address this medical marijuana confusion as well. All right, these are the areas. There's going to be the general election for city council members, city clerk, board of police commissioners, and proposals. All right, 2 open seats for at-large council members. The candidates are Janie Ayers, Brenda Jones, Beverly Kendall Walker, and Mary Waters. Those are the 4, meaning that those are the 4 that got the most votes from the, I don't know how many were listed before. There may be some write-in candidates for that slot. Again, at-large members. District 1, the incumbent is James Tate, and the challenger is Tamara Smith. District 2, probably one of the more interesting races. Cushenberry was pushed out. Roy McAllister, Virgil Smith. Those are the 2 candidates. Might be write-in candidates for District 1 and District 2. District 3, Russ Ballant. Scott Benson is the incumbent. I can stand for incumbent. It could stand for igloo, and it could stand for other words that start with the letter I. District 4, incumbent is Andre Spivey, and the challenger is Letitia Johnson. District 5, Mary Sheffield. Interesting race. the challenger, Jewel Ware. District 5, Mary Sheffield, the incumbent. The challenger, Jewel Ware. I'd say Mary's got her work cut out for her. District 6, Raquel Castaneda Lopez is the incumbent. Tyrone Carter is the challenger. And District 7, Gabe Leland. Gabe Leland is the incumbent, and Regina Ross is the challenger. There's a long article here about Virgil Smith. All right, Virgil Smith had a particular egregious felony that he was convicted of. He pled guilty. He served his time. He's out. Said he was not going to run for office. And he's running for office. Caller, you on the air. Thank you for calling Ask Welfare Rights. Caller, you there?
Yes, sorry to call back.
No, go ahead.
I'm in District 6, and I am re-voting Castaneda Lopez back in it. A lot of these people running, you never heard them. Where'd they come from? Where were they at when y'all was marching around to save people home from foreclosure and water shut up? Where those people were at then? I never heard of some of these people that's running. I'm going to hang up and listen to your response.
Okay.
Hope you get to that marijuana thing that I called about.
I'm not going to forget you. I'm not going to forget you. The question is, where are all these people, these challengers and whatnot? The challengers were someplace else, okay? We've been fighting for water, accessibility. We've been fighting for a water affordability plan. We've been doing all those things for 5, 6, 7, 8 years now. We've been fighting against foreclosures. We've got a Detroit eviction committee that if somebody, a household is evicted, we have a group of people, we call them and send them over to whatever that address is and put them back in the house, including the plumber, including the electrician that will put that stove back in there, hook that stove back up to that gas line, or the electrician that'll put that stove back in the house. We've got carpenters that'll go in, and after the door is broken, we'll put that door back up, repair it, and get you a key made, a brand new key for your house, so you can stay in your home a little bit longer while we work out some rules and regulations. Where are these challengers? We don't know. We only see them once every 4 years, so I don't know. They haven't been around. Interesting news. Detroit is a city in Wayne County, not news to you. It's the largest city in the state of Michigan, although between the years 2000 and 2010, the city's population declined by, and this says 25%, it declined by more than that. More than 1 million people walked away from the city of Detroit starting in the year 2000. And according to this number, as of 2013, and I don't think this number is correct, it's lower now. At that time, 2013, it was 688,701 persons that were in the city of Detroit. It's just over 680,000 right now. So it continues to decline as schools get shut down, neighborhoods get shut down, difficulties in finding good paying and solid paying jobs with benefits, and that continues to be a problem here, except for recently. Now, for those of you that know the movie Alien, Detroit is now being cocooned, and you know what that means. Caller, you're on the air. Thank you for waiting, and thank you for calling Ask Welfare Rights.
Yes, good evening.
Hey, good evening, ma'am.
I'd like to know, honey, are there any programs left, if you need some help, with your property tax, you can still get help now?
Yes, you can. If you call this number, and
what's the number?
This is the United Housing Coalition. And you ready?
Okay.
All right, you going to get a spanking, too. Wait till I tell Marion you came to the phone and didn't have a pencil and paper. You going to get a whooping.
Yes, I got a pencil. I'm just trying to get the right.
All right.
Let me see. United Housing.
United Housing Coalition. Area code 313.
313.
963.
963.
3310.
3310.
Yes, and now I'll ask you when you call, as soon as you hang up, if you don't want to wait until the program is over, call when you're ready. But listen to all of the information that's on the recording. Listen to everything. And then you make your selection, okay?
Okay, then.
All right.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Right.
All righty. Caller, you are on the air. You've been so patient. Thank you for calling Ask Welfare Rights.
Well, that was a short patience, but good evening. How are you, dear?
I'm fine, and thank you so much.
You know what? In terms of those two proposals about for this marijuana,
Yeah.
I'm advocating vote no on both of them. Because if you notice on that ballot, the wording, the first one is 19 lines long. The second one is about 23 lines long, and they say absolutely nothing.
No, they don't tell you anything.
Exactly, and that's what I'm saying. You know, I'm telling folks is, listen, if it's not clear as the nose on your face, unless you don't like your nose, vote no on it. And what they want to do on that first one, they want to change the variance. And then in other words, you know, in terms the ordinance that James Tate had put in, where they would have to be located 1,000 feet from schools, nurseries, liquor stores, and, you know, that kind of parks. They want to cut it down to 500 feet. And, you know, the bottom line is medical marijuana is legal. We're not trying to stop them from setting up shop, okay? But the bottom line is we don't want the distance, the variance between these things cut down, because you go from 1,000 to 500 feet. I mean, come on, you can put two in that what was once 1,000 feet. And folk, and then too, in regards to, you know, people and trying to go to somewhere and get hired for a job, you go out there and get blasted on the marijuana. I'm sorry, you know, people can make laws just like they do about, you know, cigarettes and liquor.
Sure.
You know, if you come in there with, if they got a policy that says we're not going to hire people who smoke.
That means they're
right.
not going to hire people that
Right.
smoke. That's what that means.
Exactly, because
Yeah.
I mean, eventually, depending on how much you smoke, how long you've been smoking, you know, you end up costing them money because of the healthcare kind of thing.
Now, caller, you will recall that all of this debate started a long time ago, and we're talking about a situation where people desired a way to manage pain, particularly folks that had skin cancer, and it was so painful and whatnot. They were trying to find a way to manage that. And then, of course, there were other just as serious, some not as serious, and some conditions more serious.
Right.
So this medical marijuana was about the ingredient inside of the marijuana that worked to control pain and worked to control several other things. Then all of a sudden it became, well, I guess it's all right for a recreational use, a small amount for just you. And that's when the trick door opened.
Yep.
And when the trick door opens, you know, all kinds of tricks come in and out of that door. So this first proposal A, is talking about amending the code. Okay, this is talking about amending the code to allow the entrance into the Michigan Medical Marijuana Facilities Act. And I am with you. Unless you have a definition and a description of what the Michigan Medical Marijuana Facilities Act is, how can you legitimately and clearly and with education and foresight, how can you choose? You don't know what that is. You don't know what the act is. So I'm with you. You don't understand it. You don't know what it is. You haven't done the research. Always vote no.
Yeah, and
the
one last
second
thing,
one, wait a minute. The second one is about the zoning ordinance.
Yep.
And this says if you vote yes, that means you can vote in favor of establishing zoning rules for medical marijuana. If you vote no, that means you don't want to vote for zoning rules. What does that mean? Maybe I don't want a medical marijuana facility at the end of my block, but I don't know what the Medical Marijuana Facilities Licensing Act is. So therefore, I'm not equipped to be able to come up with a decision. So I should vote no there because I don't have any clarity. So caller, I'm with you.
And let me say this, and then I'm going to go. Attorney Richard Mack, he was at our last meeting, the 14th District meeting, close to about a month ago. And he said this, if this marijuana, and they're using the word industry, okay, he said if this is so good, because most of the people who want to have these clinics open, they don't live in the city. He said if this stuff is so good, why didn't the city councils out there where they live approve this so they could set up shop out there?
It's something to think about, isn't it?
It's a whole lot to think about.
I appreciate you.
All right, thanks for taking the call.
All right. All right. Demographics again about the city of Detroit. Now, this is, I don't know who comes up with this. This is talking about the United States Census Bureau. You know, we have a census every 10 years when the year ends in zero. So 2010, we had one. 2020 will be the next national one, 2030, 2040, like that. But every 5 years, we have an interim census. So this information is printed by the United States Census Bureau for 2015. What it says is total population of Detroit, 690,074. Land area, that part never changes, 139 square miles. The entire state of Michigan, 56,539 square miles. Women, there are 52.7% of the people that live in Detroit are girls. Woo woo. All right. Race and ethnicity. I can't talk. I'm too tired. African Americans, as of 2015, 80.1%. White, 13.4%. That's for Detroit. For the entire state, and that's what people don't get. For the entire state, 14% African American, 14% African American, 79% white. Figures are just about reversed. 80% black in Detroit, 14% black throughout the state, 13.4% white in Detroit, 79% white throughout the state. Asian, 1.3%, and that includes Middle Easterners. That's the percentage they give them. Native American, 0.3%, and the numbers go down from there. Latino, 7.7% in just Detroit, 4.7% in all of the state. Now, here comes education figures. And these might be of interest to you because I have kids at my school say, oh, I didn't want to go to a community college, Miss Taylor. Well, why? What's the matter with community college? I just didn't want to go there. Why? They don't want to say, but there's a connotation that a community college is not as good as a four-year college. I don't know where this stuff comes from. People tell me that Coleman Young Jr. is not as good as his dad. I don't know where this stuff comes from. And these rumors and these comments and whatnot that people put forward, right? But here is the information about education. High school graduation rate. High school graduation rate in Detroit is 78.3%. That's outrageous. That's outrageous. That's almost 80%. We should have 100% high school graduation rates. Across the state of Michigan, 89.6%. So we got a higher graduation rate across the state than we have right in the city of Detroit. Not good. College graduation rate, 13.5% in just Detroit. 13.5% across the state, twice as much, 26.9%. 26.9%. Not right. Now, here comes the money question. I think you all call it the money ball. Income. Median household income for Detroit. Who's higher, who's lower? Right in the middle, $25,764. $24,764 is the median household income, and that's an average. Across the state, $49,576, almost twice as much across the state. Persons at or below the poverty rate. Persons at or below the poverty rate in Detroit, 40.3%. 40.3%. I'm going to say it again. Makes tears come in my eyes. 4 out of every 10 people, these many live at or below the poverty level. That means a woman or a man with a child is eligible for about $460 a month on welfare if they can't find a job for two. 460 for an adult and one child. Multiply that by 10. That's $4,600 for 10 months. And add another $900 to it. It's about $5,300 in a year. Just under $6,000 a year for two. $6,000 a year. And what I've just read to you is median household income is $25,700. And a household of two that receive welfare assistance are bringing in $6,000 a year. My goodness. All right. And there was one other thing. All right, the mayor's race. A caller chimed in, our first caller of the day, that talked about the drainage fees. A lot of people have been calling and asking information. What is the drainage fee? Is it legal? Where did it come from? Why is it imposed at this time? All of these questions and whatnot. And again, about a year and a half ago, Welfare Rights came to the station and said, let's start talking about something called a drainage fee. And we raised those questions, and it became a real, probably almost 2 years ago now, it became very, very interesting when pastors, okay, I belong to the church of Right Now, right here on this corner. And right next to where I am at my church, I'm the senior pastor, there's a lot. And the city of Detroit encouraged pastors, buy that lot. Get that lot. So, we're going to sell some lots and acreage and whatnot. Why don't you buy that lot? We'll sell it to you for $1. And you bought that lot, and then you went and got somebody to build a recreation center on there, or a halfway house, or a place for feeding folks, something. And you built that. And then 2 years went by, and then 3 years went by, and you're doing pretty good. You're, serving the Lord, and you're working at it. Then all of a sudden, you got something called a drainage fee. And what that drainage fee is this. Here's my church. Then I built this structure on top of the dirt, and water pipes go under that. Who pays for that flow of water at the end of my church property, under the grass and the dirt, to the next place? Well, drainage fees are part of that. And you were not assessed the first 2 years or the first 3 years or the first 4 years for that extra fee. Because you had toilets in the facility that you built, but nobody thought to charge you for the water that's under your building. So now the drainage fee comes up. And the pastors, the Baptists, the Methodists, the Mennonites, the Church of God in Christ, the Pentecostals, every Catholics, all people got a note and said, we have not charged you these fees for the last 3 or 4 or 5 years, however long you had your facility up, your halfway house, or whatever it is that you built. And we are guessing, giving a guesstimate of how much you owe. And so what we're going to do is spread the payments out. So you only have to pay $3,000 or $4,000 a month for the first 2 years, and then it's going to go down to $1,500 for the next 2 years. Then it's going to go down. And of course, the pastors, their eyes are opened up really wide. And I can remember some of the hearings that were going on. And the pastors were just certainly beautiful, and they were all shiny and everything, and different color suits, and the gorgeous handkerchiefs that were coming out of those pockets as they went down to talk about they may have to close their churches because they couldn't afford to pay those fees. And it went on and on and on, and there was a lot of fear among the clergy, Then I started to hear the voice of redemption, the voice of safety. I'm saying it like that. Safety came about. And the message was, as long as these people stay in office, they will continue to fight to keep those religious drainage fees low. And even to the degree that those religious drainage fees could be reduced and reduced and reduced, but it only would happen if the same administration stayed in place. If the same council people stayed in place so they could work it together to make certain that the water fees were reduced and reduced until finally they could get those things eliminated. I thought the message was brilliant. I thought the message was clear. As long as you stick with me, I'm going to keep this just where I can control the alien and the cocooned people. And when I first heard that, I thought, oh, this is an economic challenge. This is an economic challenge because the only way for that to happen is that people have to hear a certain message in their ears. And our religious community heard that message loud and clear. My. This is more than about how much money does it cost to run an election. It costs money to run an election. But if you have a message that has an economic ring to it, an economic sound to it, a message that says if you keep me in office, I will work with you and control those drainage fees. You didn't get a definition of where those drainage fees came from. What you did get is a message that says, I'll control them. So we stop asking, where did the drainage fees come from? My goodness. Caller, you on the air. Thank you for waiting and thank you for calling Ask Welfare Rights.
Yeah, this is my second go around. I forgot to share something with you earlier.
Go ahead, sir.
In St. Louis, Missouri, people, community groups, they've been marching every night since September, every night, to protest the let go of that officer that killed a youngster there.
Yes.
And the message now is boycott these holiday retailers to bring the pinch of money disparity to these billionaires, right?
Sure.
And then Oprah Winfrey opens up today with her 20 gifts for Christmas list something. She's on a sled with reindeers and all of this kind of stuff. It was such a slap in the face, I thought.
But wait now, she doesn't read the same documents that you read.
Absolutely not.
She don't read the same thing. You see?
And I just want to encourage everybody out there to let's put some money sting in these people. At least try that real hard. Forget all this holiday stuff. If you're gonna buy some, we really don't even need to buy nothing. They just take the money. We got our basics and stuff. You just go and blow money on foolishness. But if you're gonna do it, you got Bon Appetit over there on Victor and some black stores in Detroit.
In my household, what we do is Christmas is a lot of times we buy each other turkeys and chickens, and we buy food, and those are things that last a little bit longer. We pay each other's utility bills.
That's what I'm talking about.
See?
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it lasts a little bit longer. Caller, from your lips to God's ears. I thank you, sir.
All right. Peace.
All right. Thank you very much. Caller, you have been patient. Thank you for waiting, and thank you for calling Ask Welfare Rights. We're down to our last 6 minutes.
If they put Mike Duggan back in office, them churches will be paying high water drainage. They needn't think they're going to get off that easy. I just feel that if you really look and listen to what they said, they think about it later on. And that's what that's about.
Well, I'll ask you this. In the years that you and I have been talking, have those the clergy listened in the past?
They ain't been doing nothing, you know. They
don't usually
stepping up
listen
now.
so good.
Where were they at when you were out there marching to keep people out of foreclosure and their water and stuff? Where were they at?
I've got a handful of preachers that call me and say, Miss Taylor, would you help me with my water bill? And I always say the same thing. I'd be happy to help you. I always say the same thing. Caller, you're on the air. We're down to our last 5.5 minutes. Go.
Okay, I just watched Bullock have a conversation with our president, Council Brenda Jones.
Yes.
And the most easiest thing that comes out of the council's mouth is that the review board and that they still have no say-so of what's being done to Detroiters about this water situation, drainage fee, and anything else that has to do with increase on the water. Thank you for taking my call.
I know it's just disheartening, and it really is. But you know, we're gonna have to develop a vision, and we're gonna have to develop a vision that talks about the direction we want to go in. This is November. We're doing pretty good because it went up to 50-something degrees today, and it's going to go up to low 50s, upper 40s tomorrow, and it's going to stay kind of mild for the next 2 or 3 days. I urge everybody, I can't tell you this more strongly, get involved with the LSP program, Low Income Self-Sufficiency Program. It is a project that was designed by Welfare Rights. We took it to DTE for 3 or 4 years in a row, and it wouldn't catch any traction until they hired this Canadian by the name of Jerry Norcia. And we took the plan to him. And he said, I don't know why anybody in their right mind wouldn't accept this. And what the program allows, Low Income Self-Sufficiency, LSP, what it involves is you fill out the application. I live at 123 Main Street. You send it in, you email it in, you mail it in, however you do it. And I am now allowed to pay a small amount every month on my bill. Let's just say, for instance, in a whole year, I'm charged $2,400. That's a lot. $2,400 all year for my light and gas bill combined. Well, if you divide $2,400 by 12, that would be $200 a month. My charge for my light and gas bill under the LSP program might be $75. And that's $75 that I have to pay every month for a combined light and gas bill. I pay that for 6 months, for 5 months, for 4 months, however long winter is. And my bill is always more than $75, but I don't miss those payments. Okay, at the end of a period of time, some of my bill is eliminated, is excused. At the end of a year, if I have maintained my $75 a month payments, whatever is left over in terms of the balance, what I wasn't charged for, it's going to be eliminated. So I tell people this is a way of managing a light and a gas bill at an amount that you can afford. So do it. If you have access to a computer, get on the computer and put in Low Income Self-Sufficiency. You don't have to be able to spell those words. You can put in DTE/LSP, Low Income L, Self-Sufficiency S, Program P, LSP. Push enter. The application will come up. You can get a copy of it. If you don't have access to a computer, go to the library, go to your church, go to your doctor, ask your doctor, the secretary, what they call them, the manager of the doctor's office, to put that in there, because this is a health issue. This is a health issue. So you need copies of that. I don't know if we have any copies at the Welfare Rights Office. I suspect we do, but you'd have to call Miss Gwen and Mr. Augustus or Miss Yvette on Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday after 11 o'clock and find out about applications. We're not mailing them out anymore because people swear, I need 5 more, I need 10 more. Now you have to come down to the Welfare Rights Office and pick up 2 or 3 copies. We'll give you as many as you want. but call first to make certain that we have them. LSP, get on it. The water department, the young man already called. When I talk to him tomorrow, I'm going to get him set up on the RAP program, Water Residential Assistance Program. I understand what happened. His mother, bless her heart, passed on, but we can still work with that. So I'm going to help him get involved in that, but you should get involved too. Water Residential Assistance Plan. If you don't know the number by heart, call Welfare Rights Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday. We're always there. The lines are always busy. Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday after 11, after 11:30. We're getting tired and lazy now, so sometimes we don't get there till late. So call the office, and we will give you the numbers to the LSP program and the information about LSP, and we will also give you the information about RAP programs. This activity that's coming up on November 11th is in Birmingham. You should go and get these resources. They might be giving out calculators, computers, tablets, you don't know. Get to it, 2436 West Lincoln, 2436 West Lincoln in Birmingham, Michigan. I'm going to have this application at Welfare Rights this week. They're playing our music. Everybody, please be safe. Please be good. Cigarette smokers, put those cigarettes down. And you SUV drivers, slow those cars down. Stop that drinking. This marijuana is a trap. Go and vote Tuesday. Bye.
Mm-hmm.